His day 1639 of Shulchan Yomi. They were doing your day Simon Shinai Gimel Sif Test, the Shinai Dal Sif Hey. Test is long Sif. Elu Heina Kroivim. Shematamim. These are relatives which when he comes to me. Ishto Nesua, she Shera, his wife to whom he's married when she is permitted to him. Avabsu, if she's not permitted to him, or Grusha, Rusa, or she was they're divorced, or they're only betrothed. Loan able matamla is not an owner for nor is a matame for her. He loan and us she's not an owner on him. She doesn't have to become tummy for him. Lasuk puroso. She can if she wants. She's not doesn't have a prohibition. But for his mother, is matame no matter what. I feel even his mother's chalol. So because actually brought to him bekashrus, because otherwise he wouldn't be a kohen kosher. This challah, she became a chalala. It's possible by somebody inappropriate having relations with her. Kosher lo turned to his father. It becomes kamei of lo shayach psul by his father. There's no such thing as a kohen possible. No levito for his son and daughter. Kshem mishloshim be'ech if they're 30 days or older. Avil kohen shlosh shadush kol chadash or even before 30 days if we know that they're full term. I feel bunny psulim metamilim even on children or apostle. He's metame for to goes the time for them. Kagon shalaka crucial yadam such as he married a divorcee and gave birth to them. Rakim lakach shifcha kutis yoda only he took a slave was not converted or a non-Jew and gave birth to them. Ain't matamilim. He's not matame for them. Neshem misyach love achra because they're not halachically his children. Lachi b'achosam aviv to his brother and his sister from his father's side. I feel them psulim, even if they're apostle. Levaim b'yodam aviv mishivcha v'kutis v'amishizban unless they're not Jewish because they're born from a shivcha or a non-Jew. V'gam sheyotzum mechezkas nefel also they have to be more than 30 days old. After tumah lachoiso the permissibility to become tummy to his sister kosvater dafka basula to wrote specifically a basula shloisel ish v'avaya v'haina kiddushin. It's Psula has not been with a man, and Lahoisa here means she was not married. Therefore, if he's betrothed, ain't a matame law because betrothal is halachic marriage. We're talking about kiddushin without nisuin. Even she's betrothed to kohen. Certainly, if she got fully married with chuppah to a kohen, even to a kohen. But there's a difference. In the Suah, if she got fully married, even if she got divorced, that's it. He does not matame her again, ever again. She's not no longer a virgin. I feel and even if she just had chuppah without bia, the kol nesuah kibula damya. Anytime she's nesuah, it's as if she had bia, whether she was able to have bia or not. But she got divorced from Erusin. Metame law, then he can be metame law at that point. Really, Niskacha of Bia seems to me says Arukh HaShulchan she got the way she accomplished kiddushin was by Bia. Ain't no metame law. It doesn't not metame for gam she's garsha even if she's forced the la basuli because she's not a basula. Even though there was no chuppah. Metame say metame lenusa and futa. Therefore, he doesn't get the labaya of his sister who was raped or seduced. But if she has never had relations, but she's become older or mukaseitz or lost her besulim through some accident, matame is in matame for her. She also matame for his sister who was waiting for yibum. She had fun of when she her husband died. And she's her husband, I guess, who was just an orus, and she's waiting for yibum. But then lo yibma, the yibum hasn't taken place yet. Mitame law, he can mitame for the kabbalah dami, kemichesh ksuvasa, the yavam is like a husband, since he inherits the ksuva, the first husband, I guess he inherits the obligation. I feel custom ksubasa, even in the sense of ksuba, imisas blow bunny, tax ksubasa beisabia. No, that's the obligation. He gets nichse milog, nichse tzombar, so he gets a property in the ksuba. Even it says in the ksuba that if the husband dies without any children, the ksuba, then the property should go back to the father's house. The yerish nichse milog, so that only applies to Nichse Tzom Barzel, I guess, not Nichse Milog, just the property, certain types of property, not the other types of property. Can be Shalosh Bishari Yabamas, also the her Ksuva is a close, no, than any other Yabama. Chefil Nasi Yisam Maktano Mesa, if the somebody married a Yusoma who's a Ktana, in other words, she has no father, and therefore the marriage is only the Rabbanan, so the Rabbanan become Matamila, he's Mitami for her. No, I'm wrong, everything I just said. No, never mind. I'm not going back and to splice. I'm just going to go back and correct my mistake. B'chein Mitam Asher Yavam means not for his sisters or Shemeres Yavam. For he had a brother who died, and that brother left him a widow who had no children, that he has to be miyabim. Even though he hasn't been miyabim her yet, he's mitame, he goes to her levaya. That's what it means. V'chein mitame shemeres yavam sh'naf lefonav. It's he's mitame for his wife's widow, where he is supposed to miyabim her. Even adayin lo ima, even as not miyabim her yet, mitame law, he's mitame for her to gebala dami. He's like her husband. Came ksuvasa because he inherits her ksuba. I think because of ksuvasa even says even simply the ksuba that if the marriage does not produce any children, then tachsu ksuvasa based the ksuba goes back to the father's house. Still, the yavam yarish nichse milog shala, he inherits her nichse milog. Not nichse tzon barzav. Kam if shal shows b'shay bamas also that we can't distinguish in her and other bamas. Chayapil nasi someone even this Kohen married himself. A minor yasam, umesa. And she dies, and so Rabbanan, so he's only married her to Rabbanan because she had no father to marry her off, which would be the Raisa, only her mother or her brother, which is the Rabbanan. Because he inherits her. Mitzvah. Since he inherits her, there's a lumdus here. So what if he inherits her? So only the Rabbanan. No, it's Kameis Mitzvah, because he is the one who's closest to her, and he's therefore in charge of her burial, and that has the status of a Meis Mitzvah. He's not matame, however, the Kohen is not matame for his sister from his mother's side, or his brother from his mother's side. This is when we talk about brothership. It's only through the father's side. As the Kohen go to the via of his father, of his brother and sister from his mother, the half brother and sister from the mother. No, just like his son and daughter. Mab no bito shu yorshan. Son and daughter are he whom he inherits if they had no heirs. So too the brother and sister are ones whom he would inherit if they had no heirs, and he never inherits from his half brother or sister, only on the mother's side. A Kohen is involved in a mason, which is allowed to be involved in his metame that mace. He has no aver, even his metame himself, also for other mason. So since he is at this point desecrated on account of his own mace. After the grave is closed, we meso from his mason. We said yesterday, nistam even means when it's the kever. No, I got this wrong yesterday. It was really late and I got it wrong. I got it wrong. When I read the brackets yesterday, at the end of Ches. It's a good thing I went back there and looked. Stimas Shu Kever looks to so Baron Chutz. It means Stimas Hagel is when you actually close the grave. Now we close the coffin, which is still outside the grave. I was a total mistake yesterday. I said it means that when you close not when you close the closing the top, I think is what I say. Now we close the top on the outside, but even when you just put them in the kever, that's not true. It's when you close the kever, not when you close the coffin, which precedes closing the kever. Okay, that's what they say. Kever for lotion and so baron b'machutz. Not when you close the coffin when it's still outside the kever. Okay, so here also, just to call mesa once the kever is closed, shubaso tame satzmo the mace can be tame for mace achav another mace. Please a coin is coin shem mace lo mace, a coin for whom somebody died. Tzarich li zark sholech al basic first. He has to be careful when he goes to basic first. Sham b'chutz koydem akvarim, that he stands outside before the graves. He can't go to the place where his mace is being buried. True, they're going there, not doing this. They're going to the Kvarim, since Silva was Mesa Abachar Kvar, but after the burial, I could go back and pass by the Kvarim on other Kvarim, or some of them, or next time, Loshim Makaber Mesa, so base of course, unless his mace is buried at the end of the base of Kvaros, which in fact is the minute the Kvarim are buried at the edge of the base of Kvaros, so that's the reason. The bracket says here, the Bach is Machmir also by going, since you could bury him at the end of the Beis HaKvaros. So therefore he wouldn't even be able to go. Though I'm not sure. Nafkamina would be maybe if you floated up in the air. They're lenient to go there. I don't know what he means by that. Mashach Efshel Kovo Basof. Lam Bakam Aina Hogan Lefanov. I have no idea what's going on in this brackets. Well, yes, fine. There's Malim Shah Makilim. I must have been a Poshet, but the word Mashach Efshel Kovo Basof. In a Malcolm Hogan Lefanov. At the end, it's not Hogan. I really don't know what's going on in the brackets here. I don't know. I mean, you just said you can go but not come back. I mean, Bach is Machmir to even enter the cemetery? And the edge? I don't know. I don't understand the brackets. Okay, Ralph. If the mace to whom the coin was related was somebody who separated themselves from the ways of the community, Malshin, or he was a snitch. Ain't a time for him. Also, people executed by Bates at the time Bates Mikdash existed. Nor for suicide. Also not for a doubtful relative. Because he died of large shades, such as two children got mixed up when they were in the cradle. Etc. So do any other suffix was being Shiva Achron was a suffix where it was a son born after 7-month term of one father, or Ben Tisha the second father, or Ben Tisha Rishon, or 9-month baby of a first father, where the mother got remarried within the 3 months she's not supposed to get married, or we don't know who the father is. Also in the case where there's a question of divorce, v'chomin is fakos, or there's fakos, it's this subject of Raisa, Kohen can't be matami where there's any dubious issue involved. I wonder rely DNA testing. You'd base. I mean him in Nazir. It says in Nazir, Nikta Rosh Aviv, if his father's head got chopped off, and that's how he died. Anytime Laviv to his father, when he's complete, now when he's missing. That's not true, by the way. I said. Oh, bad Dave. Nikta Rosha means even the head was cut off after he died. Not when he was decapitated, that's how he died. If the body is intact at the time burial. So the that's a coin cannot become tummy for his father, for a limb of his father, which is cut off his father was alive, even though it was a chiv kfurav, lo that's a matzah was nor to a bone from his father's bones. So to all the relatives. In a kosher, even if it was missing any part of the body, it's not intact. Can't be in time. Even that separate that missing body part is in the coffin with the body. Ain't no time can't be. Those who say the misa, that is if the head got chopped off after death. If he lost the limbs during his lifetime, mace, and then he died, even though he's not showing, well, period. Some say you can't be matami for a relative who was killed by some violent death. It's called chaser by definition. Chaser Rabbeinu Ramah, the Ramah writes the Nochon Lachmir. It's appropriate to be machmir. It's difficult to be a kohen. The bracket says here, I am based on Shem Kobo Shum the Arukh HaShulchan Chaser Arukh, somebody's been killed, is considered to be missing in several places. I don't know where these several places are. If we find such a place, maybe it means where there's taka something missing. Like most people die violent deaths. If we see that the body is intact, why should we consider it to be as if he's missing? Unclear. V'duk. Shin ayin dalid. Din meis mitzvah, din amim misablin. Lach meis mitzvah, and on whom you are mourn. Of course, Rambam Perkim within Ches. Kohen shepaga b'meis mitzvah, but there a kohen who meets up with a meis mitzvah corpse on the road. Harayzim matami is matami for that meis mitzvah. I feel kohen gadol, even if it's a kohen gadol. Chayav l'tamid lo kover has to be accompanied for the meis mitzvah and bury him. Eza meis mitzvah, who's the meis mitzvah? Echad miYisrael, one a Jew, shemushal b'derech, which is cast on the road. Ve'en lo kover has no way to bury him. Dover zalochem mikabel. This is a mesorah. By Medvar Amrim, when the Shuk Shel Kohen Levada, when the Kohen is by himself, ain't Mo'achad, there's nobody with him. But Kilo Kara Sham Baderech Bein Lo One. And even if he calls out there on the road and nobody responds, but he calls out other people, answer. So ain't a mitzvah. It's not mitzvah. So you call the other people. So he's asking, they should be involved. Akan L'shono. That which he wrote, the Dover Zalach Mi Kappa, the Kabbalah Masara, Abi the Menazir Fil Mikroy, and Shami no Nazir, Dafim Zayin, Zins Liv Stop Psukim. Sila, he holds him as Machta Ba'alma, they're just a mnemonic device. Kamiyoshurin, just like the measures, the Asmina Kroy B'Reishavin, which we link to the Pasuk where Eretz Chita, Sora, being of Erevin, Ayin Sham. Base, Varosh B'Hilchas Tuma, Bir, Yosef B'Zel Shon, Rosh expand on this. Perish meis mitzvah, definition meis mitzvah, zeushim mitzo, but there you find him on the road, Obi Yeshukutim, a city of non-Jews, and there's no way to bury him. The Mokum Shematzo, and a place where you found him, Ein Yochel Yikol Yisrael, Shanei can't call a Jew to answer you. If you have top of the cover to come and deal with him and bury him. Also, Zuz Misham, you're not allowed to move from there, Laniach Chasames, and leave the body. I feel Lech Le'ir, to go to the city, love you covering, to bring people to bury him. Leitami Batsi, rather you defile yourself and bury him, even though you're Kohen. I feel Kohen Gadol, even as a Kohen Gadol, Vin Nazir, and also Nazir is also now after you tell me the Mason. Pisco is also going to do Kohen Pesach, almost no, and to do Bris Milah. So now it's Osik Mitzvah. Maybe so Krovin Malcolm so the Jews live in proximity to the dead body. Hamotzi Amaze Korea son, the person who finds the mace calls to them, Vaymonim Lo, and they answer responded by the cover, they come to bury him. In that case, Ein Zametz Mitzvah, Shitami Lo, Kohen Sami, Mitzvah, the Kohen to become Tami, Chule, Achinami Tani Bushami, Chule. Before the Hated, if you look at the Kuti Mikra Mitzvah, it's clear that even you can bury him through non-Jews, it's still Mitzvah, the Kohen, and you bury him yourself, with time to come to Tami. As far as Tumor, but it's difficult. There's logic. The Lama not there Kohen Thomas Atzmo. Why should allow a Kohen to become Tami himself? When he can bury two non-Jews. Migar Mesi Yontav Rishon. Is he any worse than somebody who dies on the first day Yontav? Shrei Ami, it says you bury him through non-Jews. L'chini Yisrael Vayich Hagav Lo Natil Kohen Thomas Atzmo. It says the Rosh Hashanah, the Goyim who can bury Kohen is not doing time himself. Ella, we should be stomach kutim lo yasu b'chinam. So assume the non is not going to do it for free, b'schar, but only for money. Kohen is not required to expend money to bury a mitzvah. So Kosh Rabbeinu Ramav Sivkim Zel Shona, like Gemara writes, the issue in some say Einam Matzei Shekbu Rak b'schar. You only find people who are going to bury for money. Kohen doesn't have to expend money of his own. He's a matame if he wants. That's not burying by non-Jews. I'm Yochel cover below so then, but you can bury without expenses to non-Jews. Also, Tamaslo is taka also be tami. So established is not required to expend expenditures. Avagav level lotas, even though normally in order to prevent you being over on a losa, say chayv loti koma mono, you have to spend all of your money of lilavor to not violate the prohibition. He doesn't want to violate prohibition, so he would just walk on his merry way. The cover, the Torah required him to bury it. Why should he expend the money from his pocket? That's not what the Torah required him to do. It says back to Kingdom of Daiti. Dal Kasar Ben said Steve Gimel, Eza Mace Mitzvah Chule, Avima Yisrael Krovim, if there were Jews nearby, Lamaka Mace, the place the Mace, Koyasam Beim Onilo, when he calls them, they answer Chule, Yeshel Kol Tzorko, Moshe Yisrael, they have everything they need, he removes his hand from there. Klimak Sheesh Ba Kamasharo, Klimak Sheesh Bilado, Oskim, in other words, a person besides and to be involved, Kedei Tzorka Mace, to extend necessary with the mace. Also, Thomas was not time himself. Kamei Tzorko was considered to be necessary in the mace because Mashab Shirokech. Shukadei no stand meet to go for enough people to carry the stretcher and bury it. Hey, but even Torah any move on him. The words of Torah are not clear. Bezesh Kosav, Larry wrote Avlin Kor V'Chulei V'Loi Tamei Im Yeshlo Shita Alfei Gavre. It says if you are 6,000 people, Uman the Masa Ein Lo Shir is somebody who learned, learned, there's no measure. And for Nasi, always Matami. The Rabbi Lay Tami Yeshua Shir, but for his Rebbe, not if there are enough people. It's astonishing rights. Dr. Sheets Alpha is only a Chiv Havayas Ames. It's nothing to do with Mace Mitzvah, it has to do with the Chiv of Leviah. How many people have to go Leviah? Lonian Shal Kohen Tami Etzmo, not in terms of Kohen being Tami himself. Omnam Divi Aturim Fresh Misham, Mishpek Design Nasi, I ain't Sham. Yeah, but that's what it says. In the Yerushalmi, the Zed, the Dyke, the Nosi, Mito Kovra, that which is enough to have the people to bear the stretcher and bury it. Zeb Stamadam, that's by a regular person. Oshay, do Majalas, they don't know what regular person is after. It's a mitzvah. Avolim Makim, Shutam Bechom, they know it's Tamachom, Tam Kulam. Everybody comes to me, up to whatever measure it is. Vukumosh Kasabatur. I think it's a Shita Alpha Gabri 6,000 before 600,000, no? Anyway, that's why everybody is Matayim for Nasi. Tasu Kamo Mitzvah. It's like a Mitzvah in this respect because it's all part of the necessity of the honor of the Nasi.